Hello guys, so we are back, and in this C programming tutorial we're actually going to talk about continue and GOTO statements. So these two statements alongside the break statement are used to change the normal flow of the program. So in the previous videos, whenever we were using a break statement, for example inside of a while loop, that break statement would change the flow of the program. It will make the program exit that while loop, for example. So continue statement, it's similar. It's also used to change the normal flow of the program, but it won't get the program exit the while loop. So I'll make a small program right now where I will show you the basic purpose of continue statement. So let's do it like this. Then I will leave the place for initialization empty because I'm allowed to do that. And I don't need to initialize anything. And here inside of the update statement, so in the third part of this for loop, I will show you that you can use multiple commands. So I'll have n++, and then if I separate it with a comma, I can have another comment here. And I will use printf \n. I can have another one. For example, if I have some variable I, then I++. Okay, so inside of the body of this for loop, I will have this. Okay, so when we run this program right now, as you can see, we have first iteration, second iteration, and so on. So right now I'll show you how this continue statement works. And if n is equal to 2 or n is equal to 4, then continue. And here I will have printf test. So when we run this program now, as you can see, the first iteration has this test right here printed out. The second and fourth iteration don't have it. So the reason for this is because continue statement changes the flow of this program to this place right here, to this update statement. And then the program continues, checks the condition, and does this. Let's say I will make another variable. I will make it I and set it to 0. And if we have I++ here, which is underneath this continue statement, and then back here we have printf \n I is equal to %d. And if we run this program now, as you can see, I will be 3 because this increment operator was only used 3 times in the first iteration, in the third, and in the fifth iteration. In the second and in the fourth iteration, nothing that is underneath this continue statement won't be executed. So that is basically how the continue statement works. So the difference between break and continue statement is actually that break statement will make this program exit this for loop. So it will make it go here and does anything that is underneath this for loop. And the continue statement changes the flow of the program to here, to this update statement. For example, if we have a continue statement inside of a while loop, then it will go back inside here. For example, if we have while, then some condition 1, for example, and then some code, then we have continue, and then we have some, for example, I++ and some other code. This continue statement will go back here and check this condition again, and then the program will get inside of this while loop again. And the break statement will actually make the program go underneath here and exit this while loop. So that's the difference between continue and break statement. Okay, so right now we're going to talk about GOTO statement. So GOTO statement is actually an unconditional jump statement. So whenever we want to use GOTO statement, which is this, we need to have some label, and whenever we want to use some label, we need to name that label, and we use labels like this. So label name, and then colon, like this. And then we have some code, and then underneath we have, for example, go to label name. And this statement right here will change the flow of the program, and it will make the program go back here to the label name. So actually we can use it like this too, to have this go to label name here and label name here, like this. So it's not important if this name of the label is above or underneath this line right here. The only thing that is important is that this jump needs to be in the same function. So for example, if we're having some functions and we use GOTO statement, then you cannot jump inside to a label which is inside of another function. So that is not allowed. So again, in a small program, I'll show you how it works. So I'll have a for loop here. If I is 3, then I will use go to label 1, or like this, go to label 1, because you can use uppercase letters here. And here I will have printf %d, maybe a backslash, and from I. And here I will make this label 1. Then printf 3, return 0. So if we run this program now, as you can see, this program will exit this for loop, because this GOTO statement will change the flow of the program and it will get the program go here. So if we move this here above this, then what we will get is actually infinite loop, because every time it will go, when this I reaches the value of 3, it will go here, and this for loop will be done again and again. Okay. Most of the programmers say that we should avoid GOTO statement, because if it's used frequently, it actually gets to code which is really hard to maintain. So maybe you don't need to use it very often, because if you do, it will kind of, even if that's your code, it will be hard for you to maintain that code. So basically that is how it works. So you make a label which can be placed above or underneath of this GOTO statement. It's not important. So whenever the program gets to this line where we have go to label 1, it will go to that label. So it's not hard, it's not complicated, but as I've said it before, you need to be careful when using it, because if you use it frequently, it will lead to a code which is kind of hard to maintain. That is a problem, of course, because whenever you have some software, you need to maintain that software. And if it's hard to maintain, that is harder for you. So you will have more problems and harder way to find some bugs, for example. So that would be pretty much it for this video. In the next video, we're going to talk about arrays, and that is really important. So make sure you watch that video. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel too, and put the notification bell on as well, because we upload daily, so you can be in touch with our latest uploads. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.